Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fantasy Football Fix YouTube channel. If you've clicked on this video, you already know what it is. Eddie versus the algorithm, third time of the week, where I take you through the computer generated highest predicted point scoring team ahead of the upcoming game week. And then I present to you my own free hit draft, if you will, team I think will score the most points for this upcoming game week 2. This time it's game week 10 and the algorithm after game week 9 stands in the lead. Actually, it's 5-4, so very, very close. But Chris Wood last week ended up actually being the deciding factor. I went for Vista myself, still didn't outscore Chris Wood despite performing very well in that game on his return. So I'm proud of that pick, despite not ultimately going with the man who did score the more points. But kudos to the algorithm for that one. A very, very good selection indeed. With all that being said and done, let's move in to this game week. And as always, kick things off with the algorithm side. So, as is becoming the standard, we're lining up in a 3-4-3 this week for the algorithm, and for Game Week 10, its prediction is 61 points for this Game Week. The updated score also at the bottom of your screen, so you can keep up to date with that over the Game Weeks as they come. In goal, we're going to see Kelleher this week, actually, for Liverpool's home fixture against Brighton. I think there might be goals in that game, to be honest, but Kelleher does look like a pretty good value pick for now, with Alisson out injured, of course. He's looked like a pretty capable pair of hands between the sticks for Liverpool, and yeah, they have looked like one of the best defences defensively so far this season. Arne Slot has got them playing very, very well indeed. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Liverpool did keep a clean sheet in that game. And to be honest, there aren't an overwhelming number of standout fixtures for this game week when it comes for looking for a clean sheet. So even if there are lots of shots in that game, he could end up coming away with a few save points, maybe even in that one. I just want to say apologies if you do hear any fireworks going on outside my room at the moment. I can't really do anything about that. It is that point at the end of October and start of November where people are just setting them off left, right and centre every evening. So apologies for that if you do manage to hear any. But in defence, anyway, we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Robinson and then Mykolenko for the algorithm, and a backline that I really, really like the look of. Robinson is one that I've been on for a while now and saying for at least the last 2 or 3 game weeks that he's going to become a good option soon, and he scored a good number of points last game week. I think he could do so again. Maybe not this week is the best fixture to target, given that it is a home game, but it is against one of the best attacking sides in the league right now, it seems, in Brentford, who, as I've said before, has got Vissa back. He's performing well. Even whilst he was out, they were scoring a good amount of goals and creating a big amount of chances. Stronger at home, but on the road, I still think they'll prove a challenge for Fulham, who, with all that being said, have seemed a very capable defence so far this season, and the numbers are good for them too. So Robinson, a pick I really love the look of. Not crazy amounts of attacking value in there for me, but as a good long-term pick with Fulham's fixtures as well, definitely one I'd be considering transferring in if you're in the market for a defender for Game Week 10. Mykolenko, one I'm slightly less keen on. It's more the fact he's probably in head due to Southampton just being so terribly dismal in attack. And yeah, Everton could easily keep a clean sheet in this one. I think they've got a few players on the cusp of a return as well, so maybe that will be able to make them seem like a bit of more of a capable defence. But Mykolenko still has the upside that he could go forward and grab something attacking as well, which is why I do actually quite like him as a pick. And Trent obviously has that in his locker too. Has been getting around the box a little bit more from what I've been seeing, and the numbers haven't been absolutely the best levels that we've seen from Trent in the past. He's got high standards to play up to. So whether or not he's worth the value, I suppose you could argue for and against. But a home fixture against Brighton, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Trent come away with an attacking return this week. I think this might be a fixture that's actually quite good for him. Brighton's left-hand side defensively has been quite weak for them in the past. And then we'll move into midfield, where it is his fellow teammate Mohamed Salah taking the captain's armband. He's lining up alongside Iwobi, Johnson and Cole Palmer. So Salah and Palmer, don't really think there's too much discussion needed there. Manchester United have looked pretty rubbish. I know Ruud van Nistelrooy is in now, likely taking charge for this game before Amorim can come in and get appointed. But I think we've seen in the past Chelsea do very well against United. Even though this one is at Old Trafford, I think Chelsea will score goals in this one. I think there'll probably be 1 or 2 for them But yeah, I'm not totally certain we'll see Palmer grabbing a massive hat trick like he has in the past against the Red Devils. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets one or maybe even scripts two attacking returns. Or it could go the other way completely and end up being 4-0 United under the new manager bounce, because those players do seem to kick into gear just after they've sacked a manager to prove it's not them who's the issue, of course. And then Mohamed Salah, taking the captain's armband, will compare him alongside Haaland in just a mo to see who is the better option of the two for this week if you're on the fence for deciding and manage to be in the luxury position of owning both of them. But yeah, it looks like a nice fixture for Salah in this one, home to Brighton. Iwobi and Johnson are the picks that interest me a lot, though. This this mid-price midfielder bracket, kind of 7.5 million or under, is very, very congested with a lot of options at the moment, but none of them really performing to huge levels in my view. Iwobi was the one that particularly kind of shocked me when I saw it be revealed in this midfield. But yeah, his data just hasn't looked good, and even his teammate Adama Traore looks like a much better option in my view. Iwobi's been scoring points, but when you look at the underlying numbers, it's no doubt Adama Traore is the way to go. He does play fewer minutes than Iwobi. That is something I would consider, and also Adama Traore just does seem to kind of lack the final product. He is notoriously kind of known as one of the players in the league who gets a lot of chances and gets into such good positions, brilliant natural ability, but just doesn't seem to be able to produce that final cross or that final finish to actually put the ball away. So Iwobi's definitely got that over Adama Traore, but that is kind of where the comparisons end. There are players from other sides as well who I think are good, and although, yeah, Brentford have been a team who've been attacking lots and conceding and shipping more goals this season, I'm not confident that he's even the best Fulham asset to go for from an attacking point of view or even a midfielder point of view. And then Brennan Johnson, who does look like maybe a better pick. I think there are more exciting options than a Spurs player at home to Aston Villa. I do think they will struggle now with Van der Ven out, even if it's just for one game. I think that will affect Spurs quite a lot. They've not been in brilliant form the last time out as well. So Johnson, not personally my pick for this week, just because I'm not really backing Spurs in this game despite it being a home one. I think Villa could come away with a win here, and I think it could be a pretty convincing victory as well, like we saw last time out. So it could completely go the other way, and Brennan Johnson could finally cash in on the attacking returns he probably should have had across the last 3 game weeks. But yeah, I'm personally not putting my money on it happening this week for him. And then finally up front, we've got Haaland alongside Raul Jimenez, who I think probably is the best Fulham attacking option, and then Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well, who's been racking up terrific numbers of XG, only to miss every single chance, and every other kind of cheaper forward option doing better than him so far this year. It kind of has to be said. So yeah, Haaland in here, not really surprised. Bournemouth away is not a bad fixture. It's definitely not the best fixture, hence why people are considering selling the most expensive asset in the game. But yeah, I still think there's a very good case for captaining him this week. And if you own him and know the premium, then it seems like a pretty easy decision for that. Jimenez is one that I really like the look of, perhaps one that's not being talked about a lot because he didn't bag a brace last week, but definitely one that I've been talking about for weeks alongside Robinson as my kind of go-to Fulham options to bring in around game week 9. I know we're past that now, but in this kind of period whilst Fulham fixtures pick up. And yeah, this game week seems like no better time. Brentford, a team that have been conceding lots of goals, as I've already said. And he's one that I do like the look of on penalties and all that going in his favour. Just a better version of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, basically, who I think people are just, unfortunately, you kind of do have to stick with just because of the fixtures. Hope he'll get one that starts off a purple patch and he can go on a run of form. I've just got, personally, in my own team, other fires I need to put out before I get rid of Calvert-Lewin, but it's nice to see the algorithm backing him. Hopefully, this can be one of the calls that it manages to get right, even if it beats me this game week. And then finally, on the bench, we've got Mavadivi, we've got Aina, and we've also got Alex Moreno. So, 2 Nottingham Forest defensive options just tucked away down there on the bench. That's interesting to see. I do think that they'll play quite well. Home to West Ham, who obviously will be off the back of a pretty nice victory against Manchester United, albeit in controversial fashion. But yeah, if you're going for a Forest defensive option this week, that looks promising for them if you're going by what the algorithm suggests. Let's have a look at my side then and see how it compares. And I've got a pretty similar structure. I've actually decided to double up on the Liverpool defence because I had a Liverpool slot left and I thought, why not? So I've gone with Kanate, who I think has been very, very impressive so far this season and probably won't get talked about enough when it comes to kind of even team of the season talks at the end of the year if he does keep up this form. So to make room for him, I've put Sells actually in goal instead. So I am going for a Nottingham Forest option myself and starting one. I've gone for McNeil, not Calvert-Lewin, just because I think that he's a better option. And even with not brilliant underlying numbers, Southampton are that woeful that I did want to kind of invest a little bit into that Everton attack this game week. And then I've gone for Buonanotte at Leicester, who's really, really been exciting over the last few game weeks. Him and Garnacho are two picks that I've been really wanting to own and kind of have in my team. Do seem like players who, Garnacho at least, needs to take his chances better. Buonanotte has been doing very, very well, I'd say. He's definitely putting on a show in this loan spell. And to be honest, for 5.1 million, he seems like fantastic value if you're looking for a cheaper, maybe fifth midfield option. Rodgers' fixtures aren't looking brilliant. He blanked last game week. If you're looking for a switch, or you just need to downgrade in order to maybe squeeze in that second or third premium pick, then Buonanotte looks a brilliant value option. And then instead of Calvert-Lewin up front, I've gone with Chris Wood, who I think is not beyond the realms of being a captaincy option for this week. West Ham aren't a brilliant defence. Chris Wood's in fine form, just seems to be finishing terrifically at the moment, taking his chances, back to full Barclays Premier League proper forwards, and yeah, he's been magnificent really so far this season. There's kind of no other word for it. He's been doing what Nottingham Forest need him to do in that striker role, and that is doing a lot with not an overwhelmingly massive number of chances. I think people thought he's kind of past it. He's obviously not got age on his side, and he's not got that many chances to score, but he's taking them massively well when he's got them, and even from distance, they're not all tap-ins. He's been scoring some very good goals indeed. So I've got Adam Traore on the bench if I need him. Apart from that, just kind of 2 million, 4 million defenders stuck down there. But yeah, that's my team for this game week. And I'm feeling quietly confident, even though the structure looks a little bit similar, that I would back my picks that are different over the algorithms for this game week. Finally, let's touch on the captaincy and see how Haaland versus Salah weighs up for game week 10. So here we go then, the usual captaincy matrix is here. Predicted points this week going in favour of the Egyptian King as Liverpool play host to Brighton. As City are on the road, it's only 6.6 predicted points for Erling Haaland, whose expected goals conceded are not too far off Brighton's. 1.43 expected goals conceded for Bournemouth, 1.52 for Brighton. Who are on the road as well, whereas Bournemouth are at home, so numbers differ a little bit there. You can go over and check it out for yourself if you would like to, and how the home and away numbers are different using the OptaStats section of the Fantasy Football Fix website. Link is in the description if you want to go and check that out. I love playing around with it. Used it to look in the statistics for Iwobi just 10 or 15 minutes before recording this as a great example of looking at an asset who, maybe I'd like them as an option. That's an interesting one. I'll go have a look for myself and look at the numbers to help reinforce what I've been seeing with my eye test and highlights and stuff, because believe it or not, I don't watch 90 minutes of every single Fulham game. Sorry. And then finally, expected FPL points per 90. We've got Mohamed Salah in the lead there, 9.62 compared to Haaland's 8.34. So he's been overtaken. There was a point where he was outperforming Salah early on. Haaland not been really out of the races these last few game weeks. Could this be the week of the redemption for the Norwegian? I'm not so sure. I'm not sure he's going to grab a hat-trick, let's say. I think that Salah there's a lot of people going for him instead now. People are, being swung into one camp or the other. Is Haaland going to outscore Salah over the next X however many game weeks? I think that Salah is personally the option to own right now. If I could wildcard, I would probably have him over Haaland, if not alongside. But yeah, Salah, if I owned him, I'd captain him this week. If I just owned Haaland, obviously captain him. But if I owned both, then yeah, Salah would definitely be my choice. That's going to wrap up another week of Eddie versus the algorithm. I hope you guys have enjoyed. As always, leave a thumbs up if you did. Make sure to subscribe if you are one of the viewers who are new around here. It really means a lot to have you guys coming back and hopefully taking something away from my videos weekly for you. And yeah, other than that, I wish you the best of luck with Game Week 10. May your arrows be green, and hopefully I'll see you in a future video. Goodbye.